What's up, everybody? Welcome back to IGN Live. It's San Diego Comic-Con 2014, brought to you by Lucy and the Evil Within. Remember, you need to be part of the show, so go to our Facebook page, like us, then leave your own comment with the hashtag IGN Live to get it read here, live on the air, when we talk to huge stars like Guillermo Del Toro. How are you?
Welcome.
Hola.
Hola, I like that.
It's
It's a spicy interview already. Roth has about 14 million questions for you.
I do. I have
so
a whole
before she
map.
goes, I just want you to know, I love Hellboy.
Oh, thank you, man.
I had to say it. I had to get it in real quick. Thank you. Go Roth.
Thank you. I will take the train now. So let's talk a little bit about Crimson Peak. You have described it as a combination of sort of Jane Eyre and Rebecca, which are two of my favorites. But where does it fall within your work? Would you liken it more to something like a dark fairy tale like Pan's Labyrinth?
Well, it is very much a gothic romance. So you have all the supernatural elements, thriller. It's very scary. It has scary ghosts, but it has even scarier people. You know, I think that what is beautiful is that it's a great love story with a lot of darkness in it and a lot of poetry. So it's very close to Pan's Labyrinth in a way, in terms of it being very painterly, beautiful, poetic. But then it goes to really violent territory.
Nice.
So it's really a juxtaposition of very beautiful moments, beautiful design, and then moments of sheer brutality.
A heartwarming tale for all.
Indeed it is.
Yeah, it's funny because I had also read that you said that it had a little bit of kink for you. So I'm wondering, does that mean there's some kind of like psychosexual element?
Yeah, but the bar there is very low for me. You know? Like, I'm very much a meat and potatoes guy, and for me, if you see all my movies, they have very little of those elements in them. Devil's Backbone maybe, but this one, what it is the story is very convoluted in a psychosexual way, but it reveals itself like that. It starts a lot straighter, and then you go, oh my God, this, oh my God. It has a couple of twists that are very unsettling.
It's amazing how you're able to talk about this so eloquently, and yet I still know nothing about it.
Well, it's very much the same journey that most Gothic has. An innocent woman that then has a voyage of discovery, sort of an awakening through a love story, goes to a very, very dark place, literally, a crumbling mansion in the north of England that is haunted. And then as she goes through that adventure, she discovers many things about her love and herself, and she discovers a little too much.
I like it.
Yes.
So let's talk about you. I mean, I've said this before. Your monster work is incredible.
Thank you.
It's just remarkable. And so this one, you wanted to do a real focus on sort of practical effects. What was that like?
I've always done mostly practical effects. I love having things on camera for the actors to react, for the cinematographer and I to react. And, you know, the ghosts in the movie are very, very peculiar. We cannot show them. We're not going to show them on the teaser that we're going to show today, which is just a couple of images. But they are there. They're tangible. They're in front of the camera. And we designed them very carefully and built a practical prosthetic suit. Prosthetics and suit, and it really, they are, I think, the most shocking, beautiful, but creepy ghosts I've ever made.
Shocking, beautiful, and creepy.
That's actually
Recipe for success.
Yeah, like my diet.
And that's saying a lot for you because I've seen your monsters.
Yes.
There's a franchise, of course, that you don't shy away from heavy CGI in that specific room. Yeah. So talk a little about, you had a really specific aesthetic going into the first film. Are we going to see that in the second, or is it going to be a change thing?
You will see part of it. I mean, we were very specifically designing the first movie in a way that was operatic and sort of really dramatic and theatrical. The second movie goes to a different territory. We have some of the same rain-swept night landscapes, but we have other stuff that happens in daylight. And we have a different mentality about how, what the fights are, for example. What the plot is very, very different. It's a really, really good story. And we're not setting the world. We know the characters, we know the world, we know the rules. So on the second one, we can have a lot more fun with it.
Do you just sort of amazing Jaeger monster fights come into your mind out of
nowhere?
When you're like,
wake up, like,
you're like in the shower, and then you got to go write it down and work it into the story?
Not in the shower. but what I do think, for example, when we were touring Hong Kong to photograph and scout the city to plan the fight, we were planning the fight, and then a huge freight, a cargo ship goes by. And it's a building. And then all of a sudden I go, wouldn't it be cool if the Jaeger was dragging that boat like a baseball bat? That's exactly where it happened. I was on a boat, and I said, that's a cool image. So I just came up with that right
I'd
there.
like to see this destroyed.
Yeah.
that was, we scouted Hong Kong actually geographically. The movie is very, very accurate to the layout of the city. And I was saying they're going to come in here, they're going to destroy that building. But in Hong Kong, you have to be careful. You cannot destroy buildings. They're not public. So we needed to create buildings to destroy those buildings. You cannot destroy just any building. Like the Empire State in New York, you needed permission from the architect, the engineer, the owner, blah, blah, blah.
That's so funny. I will confess, Boat Bat was, in fact, my favorite shot in that movie. I love Boat Bat.
Thank
but
you.
Talk a little bit about, I mean, we're going to have some new characters, I assume, some of the familiar characters, but are there specific ones you're really looking forward to people seeing new Jaegers, new kaiju?
Oh, no, we do have new Jaegers, new kaijus. We do have Gypsy Danger 2.0.
Yeah.
So it's a new Gypsy. But I think that what is great is that the characters that you saw are going to be going in different journeys than the first movie. So they're not going to be necessarily the same characters. For example, Raleigh, Charlie Hunnam, he already sort of solved his own arc in the first movie. So he starts a new story on this one. Charlie Day, who is, I probably, other than Ron Perlman, the one I have the most fun with, and Vern Gorman, they have a completely different story. Ron Perlman comes back to find his shoe.
So he does. After he fights his way out of the belly of the beast, is he going to come back?
He needs to find his other shoe, so he's coming back. Yeah.
Might we see a little bit of that? I mean, is it all going to be on sort of earthly terrain, or might we see a little bit more of that other dimension?
We will, but I don't want to spoil it. If I told you what we see, we do expand that mythology. Let me put it that way. What we're doing is we're thinking a little bit about a third one, so that we don't have to have all the same characters coming back full speed, so that we say this character we're going to put aside, and we're going to show just a little clip, and then if we do a third one, it's his or her movie, or it's more her or his story, So we're planning all of that, and part of it is the third one would be heavily going towards that universe. So, but we do start expanding it on the second one.
So you are sort of mapping out almost like a trilogy.
Yeah. Well, what we said is, look, if we do a second one, what is the ending? What is the beginning? What is the ending? What is the middle? We figure all that, and then we say, if we're ending here or starting here, what could we expand if we go further? We're never sure there will be another. It's the fate of movies. Hellboy 2 has been the only two on the trilogy, So, and you never know, but hopefully.
Yeah, and you don't actually. Do you foresee Hellboy 3 ever sort of coming?
Everybody's working for it except the money men.
There's this new thing called Kickstarter, and I will give you your first donation right now.
I think we would get really high on Kickstarter, not high enough.
Well, how big of a donation can you make on Kickstarter?
Exactly.
What do you need?
Yeah, you'd make it. I guarantee you. How much money do you need?
Oh, we need about probably 120, 130.
Yeah, realistic.
I'm writing it down right now. 120.
Check is on the mail.
Yeah, well, I'm not giving you the whole 120.
Come on.
I'll give you 20-40 right now if you want. Ladies and gentlemen, we've been asking you to be part of the show. Let's go to our Facebook question. It comes from Edward. Edward said, would you ever do Justice League Dark on TV or Netflix?
Well, right now the plans are to make it a feature. We are deep in the screenplay writing phase. I think we see eye to eye, Warner's and DC and myself, on what the movie is, and I think it's really, really well served as a movie. Yeah. And then you can expand it. The characters are so great.
Yeah.
I mean, I literally am having fun with the characters I most love on comics and the superhero, because they're all monsters. Or supernatural.
Yeah,
Demon, Deadman, Swamp Thing, Zatanna, Constantine, the Floronic Man, Woodrow, many others.
Is it interesting for you though to see sort of like Constantine coming to TV, and there's talk we've heard that the Spectre actually may show up on that show as well.
I love the Spectre. I don't have him on the. but he is a badass.
Yeah.
But do you think, I mean, it's funny because it seems like in the DC universe, they really are separating television and
there's
film.
movies and there's TV.
So they could exist in both those realms. Would that be of interest to you or conflict for you?
No, you know, it really, to me, the ideal form was without a doubt to develop the movie, because I get to have fun. I mean, I would love to have the Spectre in it.
Yeah.
You know, I would love the Spectre because he's one of the most absolutely beyond moral characters in the DC universe, and he does crazy things. You know, but I'm happy with it. If they want to do like they're doing that with Constantine,
right.
The only thing I made clear to them is the TV series will not affect the movie, and they said that's okay.
They said that that's totally fine.
They said you can have independence. Now, if we see the TV series and we can mesh with it or cast the same actor, depending on where the movie is going, I would be happy to consider that.
Would you keep an eye on that series, sort of watch it to see?
Oh, yes. As a fan, first of all.
Sure.
Yeah, that's the first. I will watch it, and I will keep an eye, yeah.
See, when you're dealing with the Spectre and all this crazy supernatural stuff, you could be the one property that crosses over to TV and it would make sense. You look through a portal, there it is, that Constantine meets our Constantine. Oh my God, I love it.
We're pitching things right now. I mean, how active is that, though? Is that sort of on the, you have so much on your plate, like we're talking about. Is that sort of on the back burner? And
no, what you do is, it takes a while to, look, it sounds easy, but you don't want to use a template that anyone has ever used.
Sure.
So we came in, and I tried 2 or 3 different structures for the screenplay. I wrote a 75-page structure as a template for the universe, for the dark universe. And you try this, you try that. That is a year. You know, it seems easy unless you say we're going to do the arc from issue 112 to 125 of X, which we didn't do. We needed to create a new story, and we said this is how they need to intersect. So that takes a while. Then you go to screenplay writers. One draft takes, if it's not fast tracked, it takes between 6 and 8 months, and there's another year basically. You know, so it's not as swift as you think. You know, it really takes a while.
I've never thought making movies was simple.
No,
so I'm glad to hear it all spelled out. Guillermo, thank you so much for your time.
My pleasure.
Thank you so much.
Now stop, leave Comic-Con and go make the Justice League movie. That's where you got to go. Go make Justice League.
I'll take the next plane.
Thank you very much. Ladies and gentlemen, don't you go anywhere. The IGN live stream from San Diego Comic-Con continues right after this.
Oh, this was great.
You were great.